on in, come on in. Come on in the room. I say that every time. Hey, Malia. Hello. Hello, 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 hello on this beautiful, awesome, hi Rachel, awesome Tuesday. We are probably at about 75 to 80 degrees today. It's been amazing, a little bit warmer than what I like, but it's better than 80, 90, up there. So just on my way home from my mama's house, and had supper with her, and then just hung out for a little bit. I had to run to the Dollar Tree prior to going to my mom's, and so I got some bags in the back so you hear the rustling. So just kind of came on live, not with any specific purpose like normal. God is just amazing. We had Back to Church Sunday, and we had some people come back to church that haven't been to church in a while, and I'm really just hoping that they will continue to come back. The message was really great. Pastor Pat did an amazing job. We had the choir. The choir did an amazing job, and so we just, it was really neat. And then we had a meal afterwards, and that was great too. Hamburgers and hot dogs and sausage, and just made a day of it, kind of thing. And it was really quite nice. That even though it is, we have people that, they don't come every Sunday. I saw a few people that hadn't been there in months, and it was really nice to see them. It was really nice. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed seeing them. I enjoyed giving them a hug and talking with them for a few minutes. And we had some new people come too, which was really nice. And one of the things my pastor said was, I'm not concerned about how many, for lack of a better way to say it, butts we have in the seats. That's not what the goal is, to get a bunch of butts in the seats. The goal is to get people to know Jesus. And wherever they sit, in whatever church, in whatever city, we just want them to be in a relationship with Jesus. And, we're not concerned about numbers or that type of thing. So, anyway, excuse me. Ooh. Excuse me. So it's kind of neat that we had this Back to Church Sunday, and the choir was fun and everything like that. So, but what people fail to realize, and I think what a lot of churches and a lot of pastors have struggled with, is that they look and they don't see. They're looking for numbers as opposed to souls. And sure, it's good to have a 200-person church, or a 300-person church, or a 400-person church, or a 2,000-person church. Sure, it's great to have all those numbers. I'm not going to say anything bad about a church that's big like that. I would never do that. But our main goal should not be to get people to come to our church. Our main goal should be to get people to know Jesus. Think about it. Think about it. And so we just need to know that that is what is important. It's about souls. It's not about numbers. It's not about how many people we have in our church and how many do you have in yours. We have more than you, neener. No. That's not what it's about. And shame on us for making it that way. And so, anyway, that was one thing that I wanted to talk about. Another thing that just came to my mind is what really irritates me is when I'm driving down a road that does not have a sidewalk, and instead of people are walking facing traffic, they're walking with traffic, and that's actually against the law. And I almost just hit a whole bunch of people because they were walking not facing traffic. That's not good either, because that would have been really bad. I mean, they had a dog, and they had some kids, and a mom and a dad, and I mean, do people just not know that you're supposed to face traffic when you're walking on a road that doesn't have a, maybe they just don't know. But for safety reasons, they need to. So, anyway, I didn't really have a purpose for coming on. I just thought I'd come on and then, you know, God told me to talk about, it's about souls. Excuse me. About getting souls into the kingdom. It's not about getting butts in the seats. Not that getting butts in the seats is bad, but you can have butts in the seats and they don't have a relationship with Jesus. So we want them to have a relationship with Jesus. And then they can, you know, I mean, chances are, if someone is putting their butt in the seat, they're going to have a relationship with Jesus at some point. However, it's more important for them to have a relationship with Jesus than it is for them to be sitting in a church. Just saying. And so, that's kind of what I wanted to just share tonight. Let's share the gospel with people, you know. Let's share Jesus with them. I have a friend, actually my coworker. So whenever something happens with her or her son or her husband, I'm always saying, I'm praying for you, you know. And it's not one of those praying for you and then forget about it. No, I'll say I'm praying for you, and then I'll stop right there and I'll pray. And I'll be like, Lord, whatever's happening, please have your way. Please do what needs to be done. Please protect. Please whatever, cover, you know, all that kind of stuff, right? Well, a few days ago, she was working, and she was having some issues with her son. Her son hadn't been feeling well, and then she just gave me this big, long sentence on how she just felt like nothing was ever going to go right, and she was always going to be in the situation she's in, and she's just tired and blah blah blah, of having to choose her work over her family and blah blah blah, and so on and so forth. And she's like, I just feel like I don't have any help. And I said, well, you know, I'm praying for you. I said, but you might want to try crying out to God for yourself. You know, I mean, if you don't want other people to see you cry, then cry to God. I said, I love crying to God, because one, it releases that emotion, and two, he helps me every time, you know? He helps me every time. Hey, Malia. Every time he helps me. And so when I shared that with her, you know, I really didn't expect any type of response out of it, of course, you know? I mean, just I shared with her, and she, you know, and then I said, okay, well, good night, you know, I'll continue praying, and, you know, keep me posted type of thing, right? And so, yesterday, ended up working, and I found out through my other coworker that her son had choked. They had to call an ambulance and take him in and everything, and he had choked on one of those, the round rings that are around the top of a water bottle. He had chewed it off, and was chewing on it, and it got lodged in his throat, and he couldn't breathe. She said he turned purple. And so the scariest part about that is, obviously your kid is sitting there turning blue, purple, not breathing, not making any noise, the Heimlich maneuver's not working, you're doing everything that you need to do, and it's not working, and your son is still not breathing. And she told me in that instant that she cried out to God to help her son. And it was at that moment, they were in the back of the ambulance, she had no shoes on, and she just prayed, she just cried out, she was like, God, please help my son. And in that moment, they were able to extract the little ring from his throat. And then that wasn't even the best part. The best part is she felt she was okay with telling me that she cried out to God and he helped her. And what a testimony. I mean, it just makes my heart, that basically that what I'm doing is not in vain. When I tell someone that I'm praying for them, sometimes people, they say that and they don't really mean it, but I really do. And when I say I'm going to pray for you, or when I say I'm covering you in prayer, I'm really praying for you, And, just that little I'm praying for you made a difference in her life for her son yesterday. And she cried out to God, and God helped. It was in that instance when she said, God, please help my son, that they were able to extract that from his throat and he was able to breathe. And there was no damage. They took him to the emergency room, and they gave him a checkup and made sure that he was okay, and did some blood work and stuff, and I think they put a scope down his throat just to make sure there weren't any lacerations or anything from the plastic. And he's fine now. Like, he's fine. But, just because I say something that simple, and she knows that I mean it. She knows that I mean it. She knows that I'm not just saying something just to say it. And so, let's share Jesus' love with people. If you're on live here, or if you're on the replay and you're watching this on the replay, let's share the love of Jesus with people. Let's pray for them. It takes 2 seconds to stop and say, Lord, help so-and-so, or Lord, help their son, or Lord, God, please, work on their behalf, or whatever. You don't have to do an hour-long prayer. It's just lifting their name up to God and saying, God, they need your help. Please help them. Have your will, have your way in their life, God. Help them to come to know you, whatever. That's my prayer for her and her family, is that they will come to know Jesus through my example. And through other people's examples, not just mine. I hope that I am an example of someone who is a Christian and who loves God and in turn loves people. You know what I mean? And so we need to just share the love of Jesus, and it's just that simple. It's not complicated. People make it so complicated, and they get themselves all psyched up about sharing the gospel and thinking that they have to, know 50 million scriptures, and they have to memorize the Bible from the front to the back, and they have to, know where the scriptures are found, and none of that is important. What's important is the main facts, okay? The main facts are that Jesus loves us and died for us. That's it. And rose again. And he can live in our heart and be with us and help us for the rest of our lives if we ask him to. That's it. That's all it is. Jesus came, he died, and he rose again. And he only did that for us. He didn't do it for the animals. He didn't do it for the birds, or the insects, or the fish in the sea. He didn't die for anything else that he created. He only died for us, so that we can have salvation, so that we can spend our life living for him and our death living with him, spend our life after life. So why aren't we sharing the gospel when it's that simple? It's that simple. Jesus came, died, and rose again, and he loves every single one of us. And he did it for us. He didn't do it for the trees or the grass or the flowers. Just saying. He didn't. And so you got to ask yourself a question. Why are you making it so complicated? I know I'm one too that used to make it so complicated and be so scared to share my faith and to tell someone, about Jesus. But it's not that difficult. It is extremely simple. So let's share the gospel. Let's share the love of Jesus. Let's just, the simplest thing, I'll pray for you. Or do you mind if I pray for you? Even like in that moment, like if you're talking with someone and they're having an issue, lawnmower. In that moment, may I pray for you? Most people will say, sure, I could use some prayer, or yeah, I don't mind, and the occasional person, even if they say no, I'm going to turn around and walk away and start praying. You know what I mean? They can say no, but I'm still going to pray for them. Most of the time, if I say, can I pray for you now? They might have a little bit of a, maybe not type of feeling about it. But, if I just say, do you mind if I pray for you? I'm not necessarily, yes, I would pray for them right then and there, if they needed me to. But most of the time, and then you don't have to, make it this big, long prayer. You can just say, Lord, and say whatever it is that they're needing prayer for. Lord, please help. And now we're back. So it takes 2 seconds, really, literally. Stop overcomplicating the gospel. Okay? Stop overcomplicating the gospel. That's what I have to say about it. Alright, guys. Well, I am going to let you go. I am going to go inside, and I am going to have a talk with the evening girl and figure out what's happening at work, and then I am going to go downstairs and settle in for the night. So I will talk with you guys later. Love you.